1861. Harrison, Virginia taps. Of course, Memorial Day. Today is the day we remember the some that gave all. And for the some that gave all and the all that gave some, I do thank you very much because you have made it possible for me to do what I do. Get on and be an idiot and make people smile, laugh, and have a good time. I'm able to say, hey, I think our president's a peanut head, and I don't have to worry about being taken out in the street and being shot or anything like that. Thanks for defending our freedoms. And if you see a vet, thank them for their service. Thank them for their service. Police officers, they're the same thing. Thank them for their service. They help keep our freedoms in place. It's going to be a short weekend wrap. I just want to touch on a couple things here, and we'll talk about some of the stuff that's coming up tomorrow. I chose to wait an extra day to do weekend wrap just to say thank you to and honor all our vets. Like I said, they make it possible for us to do what we do here in the media. Whether it's fake media, crazy conspiracy theory media, or just having fun media, they make it possible for us to say what and do what we do. Hey, coming up, we're going to have some stuff on GMO Tuesday. You gotta love Nick in the tinfoil hat. You gotta love him. You gotta love him. I gotta hand it to him. That was good. That was good. I'll grab the link and put it in the description. It's a good video. You got to go see it. He got the tinfoil hat going on. It's live. It's live. Let's see here. Business 101 coming up this week. We're going to talk a little bit about the impact of artificial intelligence on the SEO. You got a website going on? Something you might want to know about. Of course, if you have some voiceovers you need done. Fiverr got me doing some stuff, so we'll see what happens there. We'll see how that goes. Of course, there was another class action that affected labor. It affects labor in a sense that what the class action said was it sided with business, employment agencies, or not employment agencies, but employers with clauses in contracts, and this is specifically ties into the property preservation industry because they're saying, well, you can't join in any class action lawsuits against us. Employee status, because that's what the ruling says. Employers have the right to say, hey, you can't join a union, you can't do this, you can't do that. Isn't that what a lot of the contracts in property preservation, some of the clauses in there, if you're truly an independent contractor, they can't tell you can't join a class action suit and sue them. But we'll see how that plays out in property preservation. I got a feeling that there's going to be some other issues happen in preservation that are going to crumble Jack Joffa's little enterprise going on. Let me see here. And of course, the NFN Quitam case, Sherry Knott, Chris Crandell, Maggie Shananan, and Erica Giantonio. I found it. I got a new follower the other day. Very interesting name. Got to wonder if it's not Erica. Talk turmeric. Turmeric is something in the GMO realm. Big stuff going on there. But a couple things that have happened in the last 48 hours, if you will. This is a very interesting contract, and it's, let me see here. Who was it by? Fotello, FOTELLO.com. Very, very interesting that a third party, this is one of those, here, sign up with our site, we'll match you with work, or we'll match clients with what you want to do. And, oh, by the way, they're dictating rules to you about what you do. I think the jury's still out on that. I'm going to study it a little more for Preservation Thursday coming up this week, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't comfortable reading the contract. Okay, it was an interesting take because they were saying things like in the contract they're saying photographs don't belong to you; they belong to your client. Well, a third party can't make that decision. That's between you and the client. And they're saying you can't watermark your photos. They can't tell you that. So we're going to look at that. We're also going to be looking at RP Field Services, a National Creditors Connection, NCCI, I believe. That's an NAMFS member. Getting into debt collection? I don't know. What do you think? You think members of NAMFS should be in debt collection? Half of them are in debt because they owe you money and they're cheating you out of it. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the big news. We have found new information on Michael Breeze, an active license in Minnesota, and that's a game changer. Right there, Mr. Breeze is going to have some problems. If Michael Breeze owes you money, go on YouTube and Google Michael and put Michael Breeze in the search window, pinpoint, and see what comes up. And this guy's doing a weekly show talking about how successful he is and how he is able to get things done on budget. But what he's not telling everybody is the reason he has all this money to do what he's doing and get things in on budget is he doesn't pay labor. We all know he owes a lot of money out there. I know of one person he owes $50,000 to. Merkin Group. Get over there and talk to the Merkin Group. Of course, John Navarro. He's been doing work. The president, Curtis. I spoke with him. Look, these folks are willing to assist you on their dime. They're not going to get any money. You don't pay them anything unless they collect for you. That tells me a couple things. First and foremost, if somebody's going to work for nothing, that means they're pretty confident in their skill level of what they're doing. If they're going to say to you, hey, see the job I do and then pay me, that tells me they are confident enough in what they do to let their work speak for itself. To me, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but there's been several opportunities for people in the property preservation industry to collect monies. Number one, people were offering settlements. Take X amount of money, but take the lien off the table. As long as that contract did not impinge you from pursuing other collection avenues, there's nothing wrong with that. But if they're saying, no, you can't collect anywhere else, that they cannot do for this reason. Your contract was never with them. My understanding is RMS has been having people sign an NDA with stating that not only can you not talk about it, but you can't pursue other avenues. And RMS cannot do that. They can say, hey, you got to take the lien off. We'll go ahead and compensate you X amount of money. Remember this, folks. The contract was with NFN. President of NFN was Sherry, not the owner of NFN is Jack Jaffa. So in this process, you start naming everybody in line. Is Eric Miller responsible for the pyramiding of the industry? Yes, he is. Is he responsible? Is he actually responsible for the theft going on? That would be a question to be decided in a court and at a trial. And he's probably got that arm's length, keep that arm's length away thing going on because he's just the executive director. But He has supervised it. He has condoned it. He's never attempted to stop it. In his personal capacity, he's responsible. He knows it's wrong. He knows it's wrong for the simple fact in social media he stated, "We are not a policing agency." That means he knows what's going on. That means he knows what's wrong. That was how he responded to the question about his membership stealing years ago. So we're going to see how this all plays out in the courts. I'm not sure, but it's going to get very, very, very entertaining. But you had Foreclosurepedia willing to put your stuff in front of these people that were going to make settlements. They were making a 20% settlement. Remember, they already paid to have the work done. You just didn't get paid because of the thief in the middle. So when they come and say, "Hey, look, take 20%, but take the liens off the table," if you can still pursue other collection means, maybe that's not a bad idea. Maybe it doesn't cover your cost. But don't get caught up in, well, they only wanted to do this. Negotiate. If 20% didn't cover your material cost, and it was your material costs were 35% of the bill, then ask for that money. Say, "Look, this is what my materials were. This is what I am out of pocket for." And see what happens. The one gentleman that we spoke about last week, he claimed that he was able to make his contractors whole, which means he's subbing the work everywhere. That was important to him. This is the caveat when you start grabbing this work and turning around and subbing it out and doing the order mill thing. You take you take on a lot of liability doing that. Then you have the Merkin Group. I mean, you had Foreclosurepedia willing to put all that up and do all that work and say, "Hey, if you can help me out, give me a donation." You have, and now everybody wants to know why he wants to sell the list. Well, I don't blame him. He did a lot of stuff for people that nobody even gave him a $5 bill. I can see, I understand the man wanting to sell the copy of that bankruptcy. I mean, come on. The guy, like him, love him, hate him, whatever, man. He did a lot of stuff for people on the leg, and people didn't even have the courtesy to say thank you. You get a little jaded after a while. But you have the Foreclosurepedia guy, the lunatic in the mountain, as I call him. He's doing stuff over there, what he can do to help labor, because he believes in labor, just like I do, just like the Merkin Group does. They're willing to go out on a limb. So I'm going to ask you the same question that Donald Trump asked all the people across the country in the inner cities and the places that have been getting beat up financially, jobs were going and everything. What have you got to lose? What do you have to lose? Give the Merkin Group a call. If they can help, they're straight shooters. They're going to tell you, "Hey, we can help you," and they're going to do it on the leg. They're going to invest their time, their money. If you get paid, they'll get paid. This isn't a "you'll get paid when we get paid" scenario. This is we get paid if we get your money. Huge difference, folks. So the property preservation members of labor really have to get out of this. I'm afraid I won't get any more work mentality, the employee mentality, because that's what it is, folks. You have to get that out of your head. Before I get out of here today, again, the Merkin Group, I'll have their information in the description. So take a look in the description. We'll have the Merkin Group in there. I'll get Nick's tinfoil hat. Gotta love him. We're going to talk about that on GMO Tuesday. We're also going to talk about how bad the opioid crisis really is, because it's invading the food supply. It's invading the food supply. If you're in Seattle and you don't want to be doing opioids, you don't want to be eating the seafood. And we'll talk about more about that and how, I guess you could say, the trickle-down effect affects the food supply. Something that big farm pharma, as they call it, the chemical industry, Monsanto et al. Does not want you to know about. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Memorial Day. It's barbecue day. I'm on my way. In a few minutes, I'm on my way to go do some barbecuing and do some more planting on Project 2. Project 2, we'll give you an update on that later on today. But we're going to be doing some barbecuing. I know you're going to be with your families. And as I said in the opening, to the all that gave some and the some that gave all, I thank you very much. Have a great Memorial Day. Hug a vet and tell them thanks. And let's all have a good day. Use your designated drivers, and let's all be safe out there.